Motivational speaker and thought leader Les Brown said that your ability to communicate is an important tool in your pursuit of your goals. And a Chuck Martin quote states that the result of bad communication is a disconnection between strategy and execution. Both of these quotes are true because communication is a part of everything that we do. And people who know how to communicate effectively make it a habit of developing their communication skills. That's why in today's episode, I break down the four components of communication so that you'll know what communication is and what it isn't. So if you want to know how to communicate simply with specific tips for how to communicate and improve your communication, keep watching. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, the best place for new and emerging leaders who want help navigating challenges in the workplace. I'm Jaboria Scott, a leadership coach and consultant. So when it comes to the topic of how to improve communication skills, a lot of people tend to overcomplicate things. I believe the best way to communicate better is to understand how to improve communication by learning the key components of communication. So let's get into it. The first tip for how to improve your communication skills is understanding that good communication is clear. Clear communication ensures that your message is relayed in a way that is simple so that people understand. When communication isn't clear and people don't know what's going on, they become confused and they may make things up based on their interpretation. Have you ever played a game where you had to pass a message along from person to person in a whisper? In this game, the first person shares a whispered message that's passed along directly into the ear of the person next to them. This keeps happening down the line until the final person speaks the message out loud. The person at the end has to share with the group what the message was. And what's remarkable is that the final message is never anything like the original message. It's a fun game to play and everyone has a good laugh, but this happens because bits and pieces of the message are either misunderstood, forgotten, or slightly embellished as the original message is passed on to each listener. This causes things to get confusing and to be a little less clear in the retelling of it. This happens a lot when we communicate, especially at work when different factors are at play. That's why it will be critical for you to share a clear message that everyone understands so that things aren't left into individual interpretation. Tip number 2 for how to improve your communication skills is understanding that good communication is consistent. It's important to communicate with your team regularly so that people don't think that something is wrong when you do decide to communicate. Your employees may assume that they're in trouble when they suddenly hear from you and they haven't heard from you in a while. Consistent communication helps when you build good working relationships with your colleagues, and it shows your direct reports that you're a dependable leader who employees can rely on for information. When you communicate consistently, you also get better at it. This is because you learn what to say and what not to say, and when to say it. Consistent communication also gives you more practice with how to communicate to your target audience. For example, when someone learns to play an instrument like a guitar or a piano, for example, the more consistently they practice, the better they get at playing the instrument. People who practice consistently almost always get better at communicating over time. Leaders who communicate consistently are no different. The third tip for how to improve your communication skills is understanding that good communication is direct. Simply put, get to the point. Direct communication lets people know what to expect and what's expected of them. Use simple words and language that your audience can identify with. This is a good way to ensure that your message doesn't get edited or diluted. It's important to also remember that you can be direct without being rude. Sometimes people can confuse directness in communication with being blunt or rude. While some people take pride in that kind of direct communication, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is A, the ability to share your message in a way that gets to the point and gets to the heart of the message. B, it doesn't lead to confusion. And C, it leaves little room for doubt. Remember that when people become unsure about the intended message, they may doubt your motives. When you communicate and when your communication is direct, your team will know what to do and they'll know the steps to take to get there. Click the like button if you prefer when people are direct in their communication. The fourth tip for how to improve your communication skill is understanding that good communication is transparent. As they say, honesty is the best policy. And when people know what's going on and how it impacts their jobs, they perform better. Here's why that's important. A, transparency leads to clearly defined expectations. When people understand what's required of them and what they can expect from the leader, it provides people with a sense of security and it enhances employee engagement. And then B, transparency speaks to your integrity. When people know you to be a person of integrity, they know that you have values and they believe what you say. And then C, transparency will help you to gain trust. When people trust their leader, they will go above and beyond doing what's required. Now, there are times when you can't be transparent and you need to keep things confidential, and that's okay. When there are times that you can't give details, just be honest about it and say so. This will help you to set clear boundaries about what you can and can't share. We all understand that there's information that leaders may be privy to that their employees aren't. So if there's information that you can't share, just be upfront about it and say so. Type transparent leadership in the comments if you agree with that tip. Now, just like anything else, learning how to communicate effectively is a skill that needs to be developed. And although this episode is about effective communication skills for leaders, the tip in this episode can help anyone who wants to know how to communicate simply and effectively. And if you're not good at it now, you can get better at it over time. So don't worry about it. You just need to practice. So let's recap. Good communication is clear. Good communication is consistent. Good communication is direct. And good communication is transparent. Now, if you've enjoyed watching this video and you want to know more about me and what I do, visit my website, www.drivebycombos.com. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. As always, have a great week. Be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.